when Paul writes to the Christians in Galatia, he's at pains to say that they are no longer what they once were, in the sense that they are no longer under the law. So he talks about the law being given as a kind of a tutor to give them enough instruction, enough idea of reality and what's going on so that they can find their way to Christ. And now that they've found Christ and they are in fact in Christ, they're no longer subject to the law in the same way, because the law was kind of rudimentary, fundamental. It didn't have the nuance and the capacity for subtlety and complexity that obviously a person has. And now they are persons in Christ, who is a person. And it's a very different kind of arrangement to the one where you are someone who's subject to rules and laws. And it's so fundamentally different. He actually goes on to say, you know what, your whole identity has changed. There's no more slaves and free people. You're in Christ. In fact, there's no more Jews or non-Jews. You're just in Christ. In fact, there's no more male or female. And these are all the most fundamental categories by which we know ourselves and describe ourselves. And Paul is saying all of those things, they pale in their significance next to the reality that you are in Christ and you are one in Christ. And I know this is a difficult thing for people because it sounds so extreme and absolute and whatnot, but we live in a day where we really need some unity. We need something we can come together on, and it would be lovely if people in the spirit of Christ, which is that beautiful self-giving love spirit, came together in that. It's one of the reasons I'm so committed to Christ and to the gospel and to what we do at Mustard Seed as a church, is that even though not as many people seem to see the importance and the significance of having a faith and having a faith in Christ, the importance and the significance of it has not diminished at all. It's every bit as important and significant as it's always been. And to be perfectly honest, the world needs Christian people to be Christian people. The world needs to hear the gospel and to be saved from being so lost in the ways that we sometimes do things. So we're going to talk about that this Sunday briefly before our annual congregation meeting. We're going to look at a passage that is in Galatians 3:23 to 29. So that's the passage we'll be looking at, Galatians 3:23 to 29, and seeing what Paul has to say about who we are in Christ. It's only a little bit of what Paul has to say because he's got a lot to say, but we'll keep it brief this time so we can have our soup and our peoik bread rolls. Thank you, Shady and Rose, and have our annual congregation meeting. Be good to see you there. God bless you. Stay faithful. See you soon.